Welcome to the Epic Gaming Night Podcast, a podcast about the stories and relationships board games create. I'm your host, Roy Kennedy, and with me today is Courtney.
Hi.
Adam.
I'm Kent Parker.
And Rob.
Rob. Hello, everybody. Welcome to...
And in theory, we'll eventually have Kent.
We will.
Hopefully, yeah.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Man, I'm glad to be here. Yeah. Going good. Missed you guys.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Want to hear about the World Series of board gaming? What's that like?
Yeah.
Rob's been living off the wild out there.
Living, just out there, just getting
land.
muddy, getting dirty, living off the land. But I'm back. I'm really good at doing that for like a day or two. Come on.
Did y'all go camping?
I'm going camping next weekend.
Oh, gotcha. So that's crazy.
Couldn't get enough of it, huh?
I was just like, man, like I felt bad because the first batch of mosquitoes sucked me dry so bad. I was like, you know what? There's plenty of me to share. And I know when mosquitoes, I'm like mosquito MSG. Like they'll come and fill up on me and then an hour later another group. They're like, hold on, we're still hungry. Let's come back. So it's all good. So I'm just trying to, do my part for nature and provide for them.
They're hungry.
They're hungry. Yeah.
What did they do to you? Nothing.
Just spreading disease and bacteria for the place. But you know what? I'm good. I'm strong. I can live off of the...
Yeah, you're immune to Zika, probably.
Probably.
It can't get you if you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
If you can't pronounce it, what's it matter?
Yeah, Kent asked Alexa the other day, what is the animal that kills the most humans? And it was
mosquitoes.
mosquito. And both our boys looked at us like, with like these big eyes, because they like fighting off mosquitoes all the time. They're like, Mommy. I was like, you don't worry about it here. It's okay.
Yeah, for the most part, right?
Yeah.
It is like one of those things where like you don't want your children to hear that, depending on how they feel about things. Because now I bet the next time they see a mosquito, they're going to be just a little more paranoid.
Well, because my son was going on and on about snakes, and we were just like, no, snakes aren't that bad, And he was trying to ask Alexa what was like the most venomous snake and stuff like that. So, or the deadliest. It was like the deadliest snake, I think.
Mosquitoes are terrible down here during the wet season or whatever. It's super bad. It's like I live in a swamp or something down here.
Right?
Oh my gosh,
mosquitoes everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, you guys also now in Florida, newsflash for anyone who isn't like alive in the U.S., you have all of the reptiles and amphibians down there because the Everglades are just a dumping ground for every exotic pet trade ever. So it's like everything's there. It doesn't even matter now. It's
real life Joe Exotic.
Yeah, the whole place is just crawling with venomous snakes and giant boa constrictors and spiders and all that.
Well, the good thing is that stuff is like mostly in the Everglades. Bad thing is like the Dice Tower Studios is right on the edge of the Everglades. It's like
that would be a great board game idea. Just call it like Florida Man. And you got to try to make it to the end and survive like all the craziness, whether it's like people going full zombie mode on bath salts or the animals and stuff, or like the overpricing of like Disney World.
I'd be more worried about the traffic than the other stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Orlando traffic is like the final boss.
I don't know. Miami traffic's pretty bad.
Yeah, Kent and Courtney were driving through.
We were just like, and Ruthie was driving like, oh my God, Ruthie, I'm so glad you're driving. I could not handle this right now.
Or just like the grease on the floors in a Waffle House. Like there's so many good hazards.
Yeah. That's the good game. I'd play it.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot of traffic up in North Carolina in some of those areas, but Miami's a whole different beast.
Oh man, no way. I don't like traffic.
Yeah. I hear they always like the turn signal is basically like if I was in North Carolina, I turn my turn signal on, people are like, oh, we're gonna let you over. Here it's like you turn your turn signal on, that's like an invitation to like get in the way and like, be like, oh no, you're not turning here, So
that's why you just gotta surprise them. Boom, I'm in your lane.
Exactly. You almost have to.
No, you're exactly. Yeah.
You have to. But yeah, I just got back from Las Vegas, did the World Series of Board Gaming over there. It's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys have heard about the World Series of Board Gaming before. This is my first year ever going. I didn't actually compete, but I helped run. I semi-helped. All the live streams were ran on the Dice Tower, and Chris George is the guy who does all of their behind-the-scenes, like, running all the live stream stuff, and I basically made sure all the Dice Tower side of all that stuff was doing good. It was cool to see all of us. We had a whole bunch of different board game media people commentating on all the games, like the final games. But basically, they have all these different events, and they give away these like really fancy like $3,000 rings or whatever to all the winners.
What do you do? Like how do you get invited to something like this? Like
it's not even an invitation thing. It's like a thing where
you just pay to go.
You pay to go, and it costs a decent amount for each game. But you can do. There's like There's several different tournaments each day, and you can technically enter in like 4 different tournaments. You can enter in a different tournament every single day. Basically you just try to win through everybody and play. It's like single elimination. And then if you win a ring event, so if you win one of the rings in any of the games, then you get to go to the semifinals where a game is randomly chosen for your table. Because there's like 4 people at your table. There'll be a game out of the other games randomly chosen that no one there actually like won. And then you'll go to if you win that table, then you'll go to the next table for a chance to win up to, $25,000. So the lady who won, the first game she played was Castle of Burgundy, and she won that. And then the next game she played, she got drawn for Gaia Project, and she was super excited about being Gaia Project. A lot of people were like terrified of being Gaia Project because it's such a big game. She was ecstatic to be in Gaia Project, and she won. And then for the last game, the first place was going to get $25,000. Second place got $10,000. Third place got $5,000, and then fourth place got $1,000, something like that. They played Splendor for that much money.
Oh, wow.
So they went from she went from like heavy game, super light game. But it's just kind of crazy to see like the competition. So many games. I mean, me and Rob have played in competitive games like at tournament stores and things like that. And the friendliness here was way above like what I've seen at most tournaments I played in. I've played Magic tournaments. I played miniatures games tournaments. I played all this stuff. And sometimes people act like harsh or have rough feelings, but everybody at this event was super nice. And I've said very much, John is the guy who runs the whole thing. He very much leads this thing with like friendliness and compassion and like friendly competitiveness. And like, he's such a like jovial dude that like, it kind of like sets the tone for the whole thing. And he's super nice, you know? So
what
it's
does
kind
it
of
cost to go?
I don't know. I think it costs like something for like the hotel, but then it costs like $100 per game or something like that. I don't know exactly. You'd have to look up the website. I don't actually I just help with the streaming. I would know more about the Dice Tower, but yeah,
I just got so hyped. I might try to do this next year.
It was. I mean,
besides
the fact of even winning, like there were people that would play the first game and drop and then lose. But then we had the Dice Tower West like open gaming area, and like we had the entire Dice Tower West library, and then people just played games. So it was really weird because it was like at the beginning of the day, there was like nobody in there playing games. Then in the middle of the day, after the first games were done, there was more people. And then later in the day, there was even more people. So after people kept losing games, they just kept being more and more open gaming. And the open gaming ends up being like the size of the retreat. So it's kind of like a small, like intimate, like open gaming area. And some people would just go like explore Vegas and have fun after they dropped out of their game or whatever. Because Vegas has a few things to do.
One or two.
But it was still really fun. Like the whole competition stuff. I mean, everybody was really, really nice, which Tom went last year. How many days is it? It's 4 days and then a 5th day for the it's a 5th day if you're in the championship. The last day is just the semifinals and the finals. So
but like the first 2 days are qualifiers. Like she won
the first 4 days. The first 4 days, there's all different tournaments and all different games that you can be in. There's probably like 2 games each day, I think, maybe 3. And then they also have a bunch of outer ring events, which basically means like ones that aren't part of the tournament. They're just they are tournaments, but they're not part of the main tournament. And they did like a dice thrown one and a bunch of just random different games that they added in, and they're trying to add more and more games to the thing. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, World Series of Board Gaming was a blast.
I'd like to go to something like this because then like I'll just tell her I'm in the tournament and she'll just go shop Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, and then I think you can get guests in for like a lot cheaper or something like that, like to be able to come in and do the whole thing with you as far as like the gaming area and stuff like that. And yeah, it seemed really cool. But But yeah, it's very enjoyable. And I mean, if you lose your game, you can be like, okay, well, I lost I lost this game. We're gonna go spend the night doing things in Vegas instead. There are people that would have shows planned because they wouldn't expect to win, and then they would keep winning to the point they're like, oh, I had like a show. I have to like reschedule my show that I was gonna go see in Vegas because I did not expect to actually be winning this tournament. So, but it's pretty crazy, and it was pretty excited to see how excited people were getting. And the dude who runs the whole thing was super nice. He let me set up Last Light on a table and like leave it set up the whole weekend. And they invited a massive amount of board game media people to this event to help like promote it and do different things. And I played Last Light with every single one of them. It was crazy. But yeah, and he was really excited about the like Last Light in general too. So it's pretty cool to see him be like, well, maybe next year we'll have a Last Light tournament. I'm like, whatever, man, shut up. But things like that would be crazy.
But if they did.
But if they did, I would probably play and lose at my own game because people are not going to let me win. So
I looked it up, Rob. It's if you compete in one of the tournaments, it's $275 for the pass.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure each tournament you compete in will be cheap. Will not cost.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's not $275 for each one, but that's if you compete in one of the events, then it's $275.
Does that include hotel room?
That does not include hotel.
Okay.
Yeah. So $275. But then, like, if you keep winning, you can keep playing. And I imagine if you lose, you just get like a pass to like to hang out or go to the library or something.
Yeah, everybody just can be in the open gaming. Yeah.
$275 for an entry fee, and then if you get kicked out of a tournament in the first couple of days, you can try to re-enter. So another $275, I would imagine.
I don't think it's that much. I think it's I don't know how much it is per game. There's different games each day, so they complete a whole game in a day normally. But I'm not sure how much the extra entries for the other games are. Most people that were there were doing 4 different games. And they would say on their badge, and they would have each listed. They would pick a game for each day and do it. Because each one you enter gives you a chance to win that game, get a ring, and then go on to the tournament. And they normally announce pretty early the games that they're going to be. So these people play games at like a whole different level, which is kind of crazy.
They're like fully optimized.
They're playing Splendor where like they never like get any of the lower cards and they just get all the tokens, and then they're trying to like hate draft the chips from the other players so that way they can only buy level 3s and stuff like that. It's crazy. It's wild, but yeah.
But they do it nicely.
Ferg says, watch Ruthie win the Last Light tournament. It could happen.
We're gonna get Courtney there.
I know Kent's trying to get me to do it, and I was like, I don't have the time to. You'd have to like seriously practice and get really good at all the strategies for the different games, and I just don't have the time to do that.
A lot of people board game arena it to death. Like
you'd have to. I mean, I feel like if you wanted to be somewhat competitive. Yeah, you get a list.
You get a list of all the different games.
There's 4 different games.
Courtney, you and I got this.
Oh my gosh!
And the good thing is
really
like
try to do this. I think I could convince my wife, because if it's in the fall, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey babe, if it's in the fall, my brother lives out in California, and he knows a lot of people in Vegas, so like he could probably hook me up with a good deal on a hotel room. My wife would come out. She would like it for all the shopping and shows and stuff, because she's never like had a Vegas weekend. Like, and I'm like, hey babe, like, let me just play my games. If I win, we win a few $1,000s and I buy a couple more games. If I don't win, we lose a few $1,000s on all the money of shows and food
But it was also a trip to Vegas.
Gambling.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna have the Dice Tower back out there again, so I'll probably be there again next year. So we'll see. It was a lot of fun.
Man.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
It was way more chill and like way more friendly than I thought it would be. And once again, it's because of the team that runs it is very like jovial and very nice, and they're on their game,
The year I come, they change the rules for the following year. Like, you cannot do this. You have to act like this. We have a clause.
Sportsmanship rules.
Yeah.
You have to be at -10 dB when you're talking.
Yeah, I've got to whisper.
Rob.
There's some pretty loud people there, Rob. I'm pretty sure they could give you a run for your money.
Decibel meter.
I like it.
But hey, I guess we should go ahead and get into some news since we're here. The first thing on the news docket, can't put all our news in here, but he's not here. But the first one is Cthulhu Dark Providence. This is basically, what is the name of that? The game Study in Emerald being redone but by CMON. This was announced at the CMON Games Expo at the Game Center up in Minneapolis, which used to be the Fantasy Flight Game Center. So it's kind of cool that CMON's doing things there. But yeah, this is basically a remake of that. So that's kind of cool, and I love the artwork, and I guess it's set in the Cthulhu Death May Die universe, which I thought was just, the Cthulhu universe. Yeah, but it's like a weird Cthulhu universe because they have all those, historic characters fighting Cthulhu, right?
Yeah, I think I've never played A Study in Emerald, but I have read A Study in Emerald.
Nice.
Which is a Neil Gaiman short story.
Right,
it's about,
yeah.
I think it's like 40 pages or 50 pages. It's not very long. It's less than 100 pages. Maybe it's 60. It's been a minute since I've read it. But it's really cool. Like, the story is really wild. It's the story, and I don't want to spoil it entirely, but the premise of the original piece of fiction is that Sherlock Holmes is working for an elder god entity to solve the murders of other elder gods, right? Like, because it's in this alternate universe where, like, all these famous figures are under the influence of elder gods, right? And it is written in a way where that's not fantastic. That's matter of fact. That's just how people live now. And you kind of get sucked into this weird fiction with it, which is a really odd feeling when you read it. It's a fun story because it also just feels like a Sherlock Holmes story that happens to have this insane kind of Cthulhu mythos attached to it. And just being a fan of Death May Die, I really like that game a lot. I feel like this is just it feels like it could be a lot of fun. I never played the original, so I could be off.
We have the second edition, and we played it once, I think, and it was really good. I've heard the first edition is a lot better, but it's like impossible to find. And I think they're supposed to be, what I've heard is they're supposed to be kind of taking elements from the first edition that everybody liked and then kind of streamlining them a little bit more. So that way they've taken some elements of the second edition, I think, to hopefully kind of mesh the two and make it the best of both worlds, I hope. But we really liked the second edition. So,
and I'm
really
sure
fun.
with CMON, it'll have great art and miniatures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
that'll be good.
Oh yeah.
The box looks gorgeous. I'll probably buy it just for the box.
Yeah. Is this thing going to be a Kickstarter? I assume there's no real information beyond the release. Like,
I think it was mostly just announced.
Yeah.
Re-implements it. Yeah, I don't see in too much. Release date unknown at this time, says Kent in ad copy.
it'd be kind of fun if it wasn't a Kickstarter, because then I wouldn't feel like I have to spend $300 on it. But this one feels like a definite buy for me.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because it's a reprint of a game. So yeah, or reimagining of a game. The next one here is The Witcher: Paths of Destiny. This is a game by Go On Board, 45 to 90 minutes. Competitive play, uses card drafting, hand management, evolving narrative. It's The Witcher. Apparently it's coming to GameFound, so you can toss a coin to them if you want to.
That's what you did.
That was nice.
I haven't even watched that show. I just know people say that.
So good.
But yeah, so what do you guys think about this one?
I'm excited for
I'm
it.
disappointed I didn't back the old world.
Yeah.
The old world to me looks a little bit better. Path to Destiny, it looks okay,
This is
but
more card driven, right?
Yeah. So
There's a lot of card play in the old world game. So I don't know if it's going to be like taking that card play and like just making that its own little game, or if it's like a completely new game. Because The Witcher: The Old World is good, but it's kind of a long, drawn out game, and it's so it's kind of probably harder to get to the table. So I don't know if they're trying to make like a simpler version that people could play more frequently, or if this is like a whole new game. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
it looks like they have all the artwork from The Witcher 3, the video game.
Yeah, that was what I noticed. I thought the artwork looked a little like more up the timeline.
Yeah.
But my only experience with the other one was talking to you and Kent about it. I haven't played it. It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Basically, on any video game IP, I need reviewers to talk about it highly before I'm interested in it. I know that's weird for me to say, seeing that I am a reviewer, but yeah, I need other people to check it out.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
However, though, the company that makes the game, I've looked at some of their other games, and
Are they solid?
For me, the aesthetics look great. Like they have this game that came out a few years ago called.
But what about
Titan.
the mechanics, Rob? What about the mechanics?
Well, I mean, I haven't played their games yet. I haven't played on the board yet. But I was looking at this, and then I was looking at some of their past campaigns, and I was like, man, I'm really kind of disappointed I haven't jumped on board with them sooner.
Yeah.
So it looks good. The presentation looks good. So we'll see.
Yeah, they have really good aesthetic.
That's awesome.
Their old game Titan, that's right up my alley. It's not y'all so much; it's more area control. I could get Roy to play with me, but it looks good.
Oh, Titan's gameplay was not the best from what I heard, so we'll see. Yeah. I'm hoping this Witcher one is better. Titan looked really cool because it had this crazy 3D board, but
I think Tom did a review. He said it was better at 2 or 3 players, but not more. So.
The next one is Fromage. It's a game with cheese all over the cover and cows.
Bro, this
looks like a game Matt would love it.
Listen, this is a cheese game with a rotating board where players make cheese. Yes.
Oh,
it's basically Last Light, except instead of spaceships you have cheese.
And it's simultaneous worker placement.
I love it.
Gosh.
So it's supposed to take like a Euro game that lasts 2 to 3 hours and, put it in 45 minutes. So
I'm always down for the simultaneous action.
Yeah.
I want to get it just for Matt.
Yeah, this is the Matt game right here.
Well, that's what I told Kid. I was like, we don't need to get it because we know Matt's going to get it, right?
Yeah, it's a wonky board and cheese is the theme.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Of all the nights for Matt to have a work emergency.
You score
people.
Is it out yet, or is it like coming?
It's on Kickstarter right now, and it's by the same people that did the Search for Planet X and
that is solid. That is also solid. Those people are great at games, so I bet you this is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
You also scored points by selling cheese to the 4 locations, and efficiently managing your creamery. Nice. That sounds great.
I manage my creamery.
There you go. You have to upgrade your creamery as well. Build it up. Make all the cheese. Sounds like fun.
Fromage. How do you say that actually? Fromage.
That sounds right.
I just know from Dexter's Laboratory where he just says omelette du fromage.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
He's like, I can speak French. Omelette du fromage. Yeah, so it's like cheese omelet. So fromage means cheese in French, right?
Fromage. Yeah, I think so.
You guys are about to get an email.
I already talked about this. Angela Tao, with World Series of Board Gaming winner. I was actually thinking about adding this to the news, and I was so lame I didn't actually skim the news super well, and just was like, I'm just gonna wing it. She won the World Series of Board Gaming. Like I said, she did Kells of Burgundy into Gaia Project into Splendor, which is hilarious to me that they ended on Splendor. But yeah, World Series of Board Gaming was great. And she won. She gave a speech basically that was super awesome at the end when she won. She's like trying to encourage women in gaming, being like, listen, you are smart enough, you are analytical enough, you are competitive enough, you're able to compete at these high levels. Courtney Parker, you can do it. That's basically what she said.
Oh, I've got the confidence. It's just the time. Yeah.
I feel the same way. I was like, I could probably do pretty good at this, but I wouldn't want to go into it halfway, right?
Right. Oh, yeah. I'm the same way. Yeah.
So it's like, if I'm going to do it, I want to actually put effort into it, which means studying the game so that way you can offload the heavy lifting of learning the intricacies of the game and do the mental processing of higher decisions, but yeah, we'll see. Maybe someday.
I was glad because I was looking at some of the we watched some of the vlogs and stuff from last year, and there was I think there was one girl that won anything last year, and they were like, oh yeah, we got to get more girls involved, and then of course the girl wins it this year. So
there was a lot of ladies playing in different games and things like that, but it was really cool to see because she took everybody down, and it was in the heaviest of games, so it was really cool.
Except for Splendor,
but
she earned her title.
Yeah.
The game I haven't beat my wife at in 7 years.
But yeah, the next one here I'm also super stoked about, and that is Deceased. This is Zombicide, but DC Zombicide, and this is based off of the Deceased comic book, basically where all the DC characters turn to zombies. And I don't know if it's going to be compatible with the Marvel zombies, but if it's not,
That would be cool.
I would be surprised. But this is cool. Zombicide's cool at all. But this basically is 100% saying, like, secretly signaling to us that DC United is coming, right?
That's what everybody's hoping.
Yeah,
I don't
I think
know.
so.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh yeah, Zombicide, that's awesome. DC United. Oh, Matt, did you?
I'm so excited for this.
Rob,
I'm upset that I did not back Marvel Zombicide. And so I am all on board for this one. Now, if they have like a $400 mini, I'm probably not going to do that. But I am
What
super
would they
excited. I mean,
have?
Superman is my favorite superhero anyway.
Really?
And so, yeah, when I was a little kid, like if you play the wishing game, what superhero would you be? The dude can fly. He's super fast. He's like, bulletproof. He can go in space. He doesn't need to breathe. Like, he's the man. So anyway,
He is definitely the man.
I'm super excited. Super, super excited for this one. I will be backing this. It just looks so amazing. And I like Marvel. But I really like DC. Like, I probably like more DC superheroes than I like Marvel superheroes.
Really? Wow.
I think Marvel's better overall. Marvel, like, overall has got like a better category or better crap.
I feel like Marvel has so many more.
I know, but I just
When you count all the X-Men
I love the
stuff,
Flash.
it's insane.
The Flash is amazing. I love Batman.
Uh-huh.
I love Superman. Wonder Woman, she's a beast. Like, those four to me, for a lot growing up. Like, I didn't become a Marvel fan till like the movies.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm really excited for this DC. I think it's going to be great. And I'm also really excited. I hope they bring on the whole DC United type of a thing.
It'll be cool to see what characters they have in this, because there's so many they could do. I really hope they get into like the Shazams and like Black Adam and all of that stuff, because those are the DC characters I really like.
Green Lantern.
Green Lantern.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see. And with it being Simon, like, as long as there's more stretch goals, as long as people keep backing it, they're just going to have more and more and more and more and more characters,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure what all characters, 'cause I've never read this comic book line. I read Marvel Zombies. I never read the Deceased. But it should be cool.
I wonder what random miniatures they're going to add, because like with the last one it was like Lacuna Coil, and then they've done who was the other one they did before that we just got? They always do like some random miniatures that don't like
oh yeah,
pop
the Iron
culture
Maiden
miniature
stuff.
Iron Maiden, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
They might do the gods. Like if you go to like the Snyderverse movies, remember when they did the Snyderverse Justice League and they had like the gods of Olympus also fighting with all them? Like, they might do some crazy things like that.
Interesting.
I could see them going a little off superhero, but still super power person type of a thing. Did you guys see, speaking of their random stuff, I think they have the Monty Python thing going on right now.
I saw that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah. So, but it's only for a second edition. But you could bring those characters over into the Marvel one, because it's just all the board and card placements are the same. So, yeah, this looks great.
I want to play more of I want to play the Marvel Zombie side, and it'll be really cool if this works together.
I haven't played it yet, but I will play it and I will buy it if they do cross.
Oh yeah, for sure. Are you going to be able to go back and find the old stuff? You can probably get the base game easy. I'm sure it's going to be all the Kickstarter exclusives. It's going to be hard.
We haven't even gotten the Kickstarter exclusives. Like, we've only gotten the base game so far.
Right?
I think.
Yeah. You're right.
So, from the Kickstarter.
I think been trickling way out really slow, right?
Did you guys get your? Oh, you didn't get the Galactus thing, did you?
Mm-mm.
You didn't back that. Yeah, we had
it's too big.
Courtney yet?
No, he didn't.
It is ridiculous. I painted one of them, and then another one came into the studio because it was the one that Tom actually backed. So I didn't know if they were sending the Galactuses out early or something crazy. I don't know. But I was like, yeah, not painting another one. That's for sure. Yeah.
On my next pledge, I'm just going to put my name down as Tom Bassel, but still have my address and everything like that.
See if you get it early.
Just see if I get it early.
Worth a shot.
Yeah. Robert Newman's going to be paying for this, but I'm Tom Bassel.
Wink, 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 wink. Just start wearing a hat all the time and suspenders. But yeah, I guess we can go ahead and get into the games that we've been playing, and we'll start with Adam here with this game. Dun, dun, dun. Speaking
I'm
of
not looking at the slide, but I think it's Elder Sign.
It is definitely Elder Sign.
Yeah. Elder Sign is a super easy to play co-op game that is very lucky. So it's trashy for those of you who do not want random, because it is literally rolling dice is the only mechanic that really matters. There's like mitigation, there's
It's
mitigation.
a teeny bit of it presses your luck a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's definitely pressure. Yeah, I would say press your luck, and then Yahtzee rolls are essentially what you're doing, and you can mitigate dice rolls with different powers and different things that you unlock. But it's Cthulhu Yahtzee. It's a really fun game, especially if you have some upgraded components, because there are some things that are really tiny and hard to move around when you're moving to different rooms and stuff. Like they're flat.
Yeah.
And I've got a little bit of upgraded stuff for it, and some of the. I honestly don't remember the names of most of the expansions, because it's one of those games where as I've gotten expansions, I've stuck them in the box and then just either hung the expansion on my wall or tossed it. I don't keep all the expansion boxes unless it's like a big thing. But it's a really fun game. I haven't played it in a long time. And I just wanted to break it out to kind of introduce it to some people, and we had a lot of fun. It was sort of spinning off of King of Tokyo, which was like, oh, Yahtzee rolling is fun. And I'm like, oh, if you like Yahtzee rolling.
I like the dice mechanic in this, though, because it's slightly different than Yahtzee, because it's like you roll the die, and if you fail, you remove a die, and you get to continue to roll, which is slightly different than King of Tokyo and slightly different than those. And it just makes this interesting dynamic of, like, if you get a bunch of dice, you can, like, try to whittle things down, but then you're losing one, and you can be like, okay, now I have a little worse odds, and then it's kind of like you always have to place at least one, right? So
yeah, and there's a couple things that take some of the luck out of it. One of the expansions, I forget which one. It's the one that's like it's kind of icy in the theme. I forget the name of it.
I remember seeing that one.
Yeah, and that one adds some different gates, and I don't know. It is a cool game. It's got that very traditional Fantasy Flight Cthulhu art that you see kind of in everything.
Right.
You're either sick of it or you're like me, and it's just nostalgic. I just like it. I'm like, oh, now I want to play Ark of Horror, the card game, and stare at the same characters. So big recommends it. It's probably super easy to get, and I'm sure it's only $35 or $40 or something like that. So
I hate the fact that their X-Men remake of this didn't work. They changed up the dice mechanic, and it wasn't as fun. And they made a lot of errors along the way with the design on that one, but it should have been like a slam dunk, like X-Men in this exact same game.
Yeah, because it's
great.
It was such a hit of a game. I mean, I think I have maybe how old is that game? 8-9 years old. I mean, it was when it came out, it was hot, and all the expansions were hot.
I think Elder Sign still stands up, right? So.
Oh yeah.
So. I always had fun with Elder Sign. I did have a game where I played with way too many people, which was not the best. But as long as you keep the player count reasonable, it's fun.
Yeah, I think it's a good time. Elder Sign, get it for yourself. It's a must-have. It's a keep forever game, I think.
Isles of Skies.
Yes, the Isles of Skye. Isle of Skye. Oh man, this is one of my favorite games that has kind of a little like bartering economy with other players you play with. It's tile laying and then bidding with each other, like bidding for each other's goods. And it's just so much fun. I love the theme of it. You're a little whiskey baron. You're trying to build roads to get whiskey across the Isle of Skye in Scotland. It's a very easy game to learn. But it's one of these games where the bonuses for scoring will change every round. Like it's randomized. You flip it up for each round. So every game plays a little different. You've got to switch up what you were going after, but it keeps it really co-equal. But again, it's very slightly above like beginner or family weight, like it's a very, very medium lightweight game. So you can kind of teach it to anybody, but it just looks good. It's really fun to have at the table. So you have that little bit of that, I don't know, the tile laying vibe. And then, hey, do you want this for this much money? And and if not, I'm gonna have to pay for it. Like you can put the cost of something up really high because you're willing to pay for it yourself. But then somebody might need it even more than you, so they'll buy that tile. And it's tiles. You're buying and selling your tiles. So I don't know. Again, it's another game I haven't played in a while, and that was kind of the kick that I've been on the last 2 weeks since I saw y'all. As I was into my back catalog, and I'm like, man, I love Isle of Skye. Like, I play that anytime. It's super quick, it's super easy to teach, and it's just a fun game. So
that's awesome. Tiling. And Kent has decided to show up. What's up, Kent? What's going on?
Hello, I'm here. How's it
Kent,
going?
do you want to go ahead and do your?
Did you win?
Did you win?
I went 3-0.
Oh,
You went 3-0?
Yeah.
Oh, your boy went 3-0 with Lorcana.
Okay,
guys.
let us know what you were playing in Lorcana's.
Stitch.
You were playing Stitch. Stitch was the actual.
Stitch.
You guys feel the heat that just came in here? Man.
So was it actually a tournament or was it?
It's a league. It's like a tournament every league night. So you play 3 games and you know that's it. You can get a pack when you go, but they're out of packs. Hope maybe next week.
Oh yeah, because it's hard to get any Lorcana packs. Right
but
now.
they've been doing.
You can store credit or anything, or
no, they just let you buy packs at MSRP. Like it's an entry fee of $7, and they give you a pack. And you just get to play, and you get stickers, and you get promos at the end. If you have a certain number of stickers, they give you the highest sticker number gets the first pick of the promos, and they get little pins and stuff.
Nice.
It's kind of like little swag and things like that.
So what colors were your deck that you were playing?
It was Amber Steel.
Okay, interesting. That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, Isle of Skye is a good game. I like it.
Yeah,
Thanks, Chester.
Well, we did all the news and we talked about Adam's games. So we can either do your games or we could. Are you ready? Are you ready for your games?
I'm good. Yeah, sure.
Game.
Yeah, warm it up, baby.
The game. What is your game?
Yeah, so we played Marrakesh. We played it once. So this has a game. It's a game with a lot going on. It's a Stefan Feld giant Euro game. It's one of his newer Euro games. It came out in like his City Collection. A lot of those City Collection games were just like reprints, but this is like one of the brand new ones he made from that collection. And we have the Essential Edition, which is basically like a scaled down version of the one they originally put out, which is ridiculous because this game has so much stuff all over the place, and it's just like it's a giant Euro mess. But anyway, essentially, and even the scaled down version is just like pieces everywhere, and it's pretty decent quality.
Do you drop cubes in a tower?
Yeah, so it's got a cube tower. It's got like all sorts of. It's got a lot of colors for your game too. But anyway, what you're doing in this game essentially is there's 12 different little figures called Keshis, and it's I guess from Marrakesh. But the theme is not really there. But you're essentially you're using those Keshis to do different actions. So like there's 12 different colors, and each color is an action essentially. And you are picking 3 colors of you start with 12, one of each color. You're going to randomly pick or you're going to pick 3, you're going to reveal, and everyone's going to reveal at the same time. So it's kind of like a simultaneous reveal thing. And that's going to determine what actions you get to do. But then you go and draft those colored Keshis. And essentially what that does is it strengthens your actions for the actions that you picked. So sometimes you can do an action and get the colors drafted out from under you, and you really can't do the action very well. So it's fairly interactive as far as that goes. And over the game, you're basically trying to improve your actions with a lot of Keshis. You're trying to pick the best actions to also hurt your opponent. So, maybe they really, they want to do this particular action. So you draft out the things from underneath them. And anyway, it's like massive point salad, stuff everywhere. You got upgrade things that let you do all sorts of crazy stuff. You've got tracks, like multiple tracks. It's a huge Euro mess. But it's pretty fun. It's one that I would definitely need to play more. As far as Stefan Feld games go, it's fairly streamlined once you figure it out and understand all the stuff. But it's a really big learning curve to get into it. It took me so long to figure it out. But once you figured it out, it's like, oh, this makes a lot of sense. It's not a game where you have to like keep going back to the rulebook for how to play. But there is like massive icon soup in this game. So you're going to have to be looking up, what does this tile do? What does this tile do? What's this icon for this do? So that's really the biggest part that's kind of frustrating with it. But it's cool for a Euro game. I like how colorful it is. I like the cube tower. The cube tower also gets some randomness. So you may not get, you're going to throw a bunch of stuff in there and stuff may not come out the same round. It might come out next round. But yeah, this Marrakesh, Definitely not one of the Feld games I'd recommend trying before you try like other Feld games. Like I would always say like go to Castle of Burgundy if you're going to start with a Feld game. Probably this one has a lot more going on, I feel like, than that. But it's neat and it looks good. And if you like big crunchy Euro games, it's definitely worth trying. But yeah, that is Marrakesh.
It looks good on the table.
It has a table presence for sure.
It's definitely a lot of stuffs.
I would set it up and look at it.
Yeah.
Nobody would play it with me who lives here.
Also, I would say probably but not the best 2-player game either.
Ah, gotcha.
I think with more players, you're going to get a lot more fun interaction and fun drafting options. It was okay, but I think definitely would shine at like 3 or 4.
All right, Rob.
This is the game, guys.
Yes,
the game.
Bro,
I looked into this game a lot.
You what?
I almost bought this game. I looked into it.
Yeah, am I gonna hit buy on Amazon, Rob? Tell me.
Yes, yeah, you are. No. This game is so much fun. It looks so cute. I saw it being promoted, and I was like, you know what? My daughters could play that. We could have a good time. So we played Abduction. Abduction is you are an alien, and you are abducting these little ducks. And what happens is everybody's got their everybody has their little player board. The game it can come with an expansion, but I just got the base game because I wanted to make sure the girls liked it first. I think we can play 5 or 6, but the game comes standard with the 4 players. Quality is really good. All those little rubber duckies are actually really nice and really solid. And then that UFO, you can stick your hand in the UFO and you got to swish it around, and then you pull out your duckies to try to get them out. And if you look at the picture in front of us, you see those cards, right? You're trying to get your ducks to resemble those types of patterns. And everybody gets 3 cards per turn, and your cards can pull ducks from your board. Your cards can pull ducks from somebody else's board. You can push ducks away. You can have other people's ducks get abducted, and you're trying to match those patterns so you can get those point cards. And like the blue, for example, those 3 point cards in front of my thing, that's not blue. That just means you need all those ducks of that color. And that one that shows like that crisscross, the blue and the gold, that just means 2 different ducks. So I don't need all blue or all yellow. They're just giving you examples. It's very simple, but it's a lot of fun. You can sort of mess with people because I don't know if you're looking at the board, but you see these like little swoosh arrows that are on my board to show you the way the ducks move. If you take somebody's duck on the bottom row, what you do is once a duck is removed from your board, unless the card specifically says otherwise, you're then going to slide all the ducks down. So if I know you're trying to get a duck in a certain category, like that 10 card right there, I could take one of your bottom 2 left ducks, and that's going to mess up your whole scheme and move everything around. And so it was a lot of fun. It was really cute. I was really surprised with the quality too. I didn't expect the game to have good quality. I thought it was going to be a cute, cheap game, right? It was $30, but the UFO, very durable. I know because my 5-year-old threw it at me a couple times, or my 6-year-old. Sorry, she's 6 now. She threw it at me a couple of times. It comes with a bunch of duckies, and you get the white, the yellow, the pink, and the blue ducks, and they're hard, and they're all pre-painted. They're all nice, and then you get a big stack. So if you look in the middle of the table, you can kind of see like our discard area and then our draft area. Every round you're going to draw 3 cards, and that's going to be your 3 actions. You can do up to 3. And then you can discard down or just get rid of all your cards if you don't like them and draw 3 new cards. But then your point cards, like you can see in front of me, that 5, the 10, that 7. Depending on the amount of players is going to depend on how many point cards you put out. Once the last point card has been taken, the game is over, and then you count up to see whoever has the most points. And then in the round, your turn ends when you've either passed, when you've done all 3 of your actions, or if you've completed a point card. So you might want to do some other stuff with your other cards to mess with people and then try to complete a point card. Because as soon as you receive a point card, your turn is over and passes to the next person. It's Abduction. I've been watching it being advertised for a couple months now. It was super cute. I got away with ordering it like on a day that my wife was sort of not paying attention, and it was only like $30 or something, so I threw it in Amazon. But we loved it. The family loved it. The girls loved it. It was a fun game. So I would recommend. I think you like it if you're looking for something cute and fun. I think maybe Kent and Courtney, your kids might like it because it's around that age where it's a little bit like I can sort of hurt you, but not hurt you at the same time. But it's sort of getting those mechanics. I think teenagers would like it just because of the theme. Because bro, it's little duckies, and they're getting abducted by this big alien spaceship. So it's like super cute. Like it's adorable. I'm excited to play it again. But yeah, it's not on the weight scale for like the BGG weight scale. I'd probably give it like a 1.5. Mm-hmm. If it didn't have the stuff where I could mess with other people, I'd give it a 1. But the fact that you can mess with other people, like the teleport, the gravity assist, the shapeshifter, that's nice because then I can sort of take that type of an element to other people. So that gives a little bit more weight because then you're hoping people don't mess with you. And my daughter, she was really trying to screw me and my wife over a lot. Briley, she kept on doing stuff and moving all of our pieces around because she wanted to get that 10-pointer. So it was a lot of fun. Abduction.
That's crazy. Make all the duck patterns.
So many times, just because the little spaceship in the center looks so cool, and the patterns and all that. It just looked like a fun game.
It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. We enjoyed it. If you get it with the expansion, I think it's like $60. But the base game, I think was like
49. Yeah.
I've heard the expansion isn't all that great. I've heard some criticism of the expansion. I don't know a lot about it,
but I didn't get it. I just got the base game. And the base game, definitely a lot of replay value because, again, it's all random. So you're just drawing the duckies at random. You're shuffling the cards. So it was just really cute. And I'm loving our family game nights that we do. And this is something that I can get everybody to sit down and to play. And so we'll definitely play it again.
Nice.
So my game, I picked a pretty silly game called Blob Party. This is a cooperative game that kind of reminds me of something like Herd Mentality or Green Team Wins, but it's cooperative, so it's kind of like just one-ish almost. So in this game, you each are going to get a whiteboard and a pen and a little piece of Play-Doh, basically. That is your blob. And the point of this game is to all become one blob. You're going to have these 2 decks of cards. One is going to be kind of I guess kind of like a topic, and another one might be more of an adjective or something. Just 2 different words. And you both have to reveal these 2 words, and then everybody's going to write one word on their whiteboard, and then they reveal it. And if everybody has the same word on their whiteboard, or whoever has the same word on their whiteboard, join a team together, or they basically become the same blob. And then you're going to reveal 2 more cards. And then the team of blob that is together will join the other people, or will try to match the same word. You're just always trying to match the same word together. Also, when you match a word together, you take your pieces of Play-Doh and basically squish them together to become the same blob. So as you're going along, you become a bigger and bigger blob. And if you go through 7 cards without becoming one blob, you lose the game. If you're able to get to one blob before that, then you all win the game. It's all about trying to come up with the same word off of these different stuff, sometimes there could be moments where you have super simple things, like somebody had one thing said game and the other word was bird, and that was just immediately the end of the game, because we all thought of the exact same thing and wrote it down. But then there's some times where you'll match up with a person. It's these 2 people become one blob, and then these 3 people over here become one blob. And we played a massive group of this. We probably played 15 people together. We had 2 versions of the game mixed together, and then we were using other whiteboards from other games, and we just all gave these little pieces of Play-Doh, and everybody was making little cute blobs with their little Play-Doh and then squishing them all together when we become a team. And it's just cool, this game of trying to figure out what all the other players are going to think, It's also funny because we had several people from the UK and several people from America playing, so seeing different people, what words are something in one language or in one part of the world and words in another part of the world also turn things on their head as well. So it's just a really fun cooperative party style game. But yeah, it was silly.
It sounds like medium a little bit, as far as
a little bit. Yeah. It is very much like medium. As far as medium, you have to do that real fast, flip the 2 things and say them really fast. It's like medium if it was fully cooperative and you had to do it within a certain number of times. But you do have more time to think of what you're going to write down.
Yeah, medium is an incredibly satisfying game for how simple the concept of it is. When you mind meld in that game, you're whoa, we got it. You're just so. I don't know, that makes
I'm
it
so
super.
bad at that game.
You think of abstract words instead of
I
thinking
guess,
of words
I don't
everybody
know.
else does.
I feel like I actually the first time I ever played that was with you all, and I think my highest scoring game that night was me and you, Courtney.
Was
if I
it?
recall.
Can't remember.
I think so.
Kent and I are never on the
No,
same
we're never
wavelength
on the
whatsoever.
It was like the first game we played. I think it was an abject disaster after that. But I recall being like, "Holy shit!" Like wow.
Blob Party's hilarious when you have everybody as one gigantic blob and you just have that one person who's not added to the team. And you're like, what can we do that they'll join us? Like, what can we do so that way they'll think of the same word as we do? You're kind of like trying to pitch a word that you think they know or that you think that specific person is going to do. Or sometimes it's like split and there's a giant group on one side of the room and a giant group on the other side of the room. And you're trying to figure out like, okay, we're a ton of different people all trying to come up with one word. What is that word going to be, you know? And at first you're doing it by yourself, but as the game goes along, you're all collaboratively trying to think of the most common word together. And it's kind of funny being like, okay, we gotta think it's like, oh, green and like job or something like that. It's like, oh, well, is it like solar or is it gardener? Is it recycler? Like, what does a green job even mean? You know? So it was just interesting to try to combine these two words together to make a word that the other groups are going to think of. So yeah, Blob Party, I recommend it if you want a super, super, super light, silly game. The first time we played, we didn't use the Play-Doh, and I'm like, we got to use the Play-Doh. What are you guys doing? Like, we're not even playing the game correctly. Like, we have to combine our Play-Doh together when we become a blob. If you're not a blob by the end
Is
of
all
it.
the Play-Doh the same color? Because the mom in me is like freaking out.
It is all the same color. It's all
Okay.
orange, and it comes with googly eyes that you can put in it to make it this weird abomination thing.
I don't let my kids like play with multiple colors of Play-Doh because I know it's all going to be brown at the end, you know. So it's just like they can have one color at a time, and then
It seems really superfluous, like the Play-Doh.
It
like,
definitely
it's
is
just there.
superfluous. It's a gimmick.
it's a
But
gimmick. Yeah.
but we were making little cute guys and then smashing them together. It was kind of fun.
Wonder how the library copy is going to hold up with that game.
Oh my God.
This was definitely
Have,
a
like, hair
personal
stuck in
copy.
it and
We
stuff.
played Grant's. Grant does a lot of
Okay,
comedy
yeah.
from Grant's Game Rex. He
Yeah,
taught
yeah.
us this game, and it was silly fun.
Yeah, I'd
but
play that.
The next game here is from Courtney.
All right. So we played Gen Crafters at the retreat, at the Dice Tower retreat, and I really liked it. It's a very simple kind of filling orders. So you're producing gin, and so on your turn, you're buying up ingredients and kind of putting those ingredients together to fulfill gin recipes. And then each of those recipes is worth points, and then you end of the game gets triggered when you get to someone gets to 30 points, and I think everybody has like another turn. So it's a really quick game. I think I love the art. I really like it's like very simple and clean. And one of the cool things about it, or a couple of the cool things about it, is when you have ingredients, you have them all out in front of your player board, so everybody can kind of see what ingredients you have. And when you're fulfilling one of your orders, you can use up to or borrow one ingredient from another player, and they still get to keep it, and they actually get $2 from the supply. So it's actually good for them if you borrow it, but it helps you like create or fulfill orders faster because you don't have, there's one ingredient you don't have to get, which is kind of neat. Because some other, order fulfillment's okay. You can steal orders or you can pay people for orders, but this is like good because you both kind of get good things from it. The other thing that's kind of neat is when you actually fulfill the order, each of the what they call botanicals or ingredients has like a special player power attached to it, and so when you fulfill that order and you use that specific ingredient and you keep it with your gin, you get to do that special power. So sometimes it's just getting money, sometimes it's like getting another card or something like that. But that kind of makes things a little interesting. And we got able to get the spirits expansion, and that just adds like more in-game scoring and then special player powers, which are always fun. So I like this game a lot because it's, like I said, I think it looks pretty, and I really like fulfilling orders. I think that's a lot of fun, and the fact that you're kind of almost racing to 30 points doesn't mean if you're the first person to 30 points doesn't mean you're actually going to win, but it's kind of a balance between, okay, if I get this order perfectly, I'm going to get more points, and I can have all these other cards that will allow me to score more points for this order, or just fulfilling the order as fast as possible and getting as many easy orders as possible. So I mean, I think other games do that too, kind of pretty well, but that's kind of fun. So that was Gin Crafters.
Nice.
And you don't even like gin.
I mean, yeah, gin is gin, you know.
It was what? I mean, listen, I'm not a big drinker, but Henrik's.
I mean, you could probably make this about any kind of mixed beverage, you know. So
So don't let the theme. If you like
If
gin, great. If you don't like gin, you still may like the game, maybe.
Yeah.
If you hate juniper, don't play this game.
Awesome. Our next topic here, our topic for this week, we're going to be talking a little bit, very quickly, very quickly, about some Essen Spiel games. I might try to look up some of these as we talk about them. But does anybody have like a game that they're particularly excited about that's coming out of Essen? Because that is technically this week. So,
I got one, Rob, in case you got to go. I was just thinking Rob might have to leave. So
yeah,
I've got a couple
actually
that I'm pretty excited about. I made another list. Some I left off my list, and I won't mention them just in case you do, because of the weightiness of those games look to be a little bit heavier. There were some games that looked really cool, but they were above a 3 on the weight. And so I'm starting to consider that now when I buy a game rather than just the aesthetics, because the games look great, but is this a game I'm going to be able to play with my family in the next 10 years?
Right.
The one, if I had to choose one right now, I'll give you. All right, can I give you two?
Just two.
Sure. My family one, the one that I would buy for my family, Sea Dragons. I'm really excited to see Sea Dragons. Each participant plays as a family of sea dragons who are seeking to become the protectors of the Forbidden Seas. Each turn, one of the 2 pattern cards from the hand will be played to position the sea dragon on the board, increasing your presence in all 4 sea kingdoms. Blah, blah, blah. More stuff. You can look it up on Board Game Geek. It looks really cute, though. It has a really cute table presence. It says ages 8 or up, which my 10-year-old could eat that up. I was just thinking of like 8 or up for like my 6-year-old. Like she plays games that are a little bit more advanced. But the weight, I like this. The weight was only a 2. And I love the table presence. The only thing that I'm concerned about with the table presence is so many pieces. Like I don't. I get concerned.
There's a ton of little dragon pieces in this game.
There are a ton of little dragon pieces.
I saw Tom playing this at the retreat, and it looked amazing on the table.
Oh, really?
I had like stopped, and I was like, "Oh my god, what is that game? It looks
is
so
it like
awesome."
Snake? Like
I don't know.
And they're dragons, yeah.
It sort of looked like that from the pictures and stuff that I was seeing over the last couple of days. But I like the theme. I like the box. I like the artwork. And I like the weight. And I like that it was a family style sort of game that we could play. And so that's my family game that I put on there. I've got a lot more games that I have on this list, but I'll just give you the other one. I think it's already out. Or this other game, I don't know when it's going to be out. But the Battle of Sampo. Have you guys heard of this? The Battle of Sampo.
No, that one's not on my radar at all.
If you go to BGG and you look at this game, it has this huge tower that comes out in the middle of the game. And in the Battle of Sampo, you lead a village as a hero. You have combat and rune scores and unique powers, and you aim to become the legendary hero by claiming 12 heroic deeds. Deeds require different tasks like battles or helping the village manage skills, companions, and resources while balancing different actions. Search for the Golden Sampo for bonuses, but watch out for dark deeds that can tarnish your honor. The player with the most deeds wins in the end. The game just looked really cute to me. Not really cute. This game looked good. This game looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, the table looks really great.
I really like the table presence. And then it has sort of that, some of the mechanics. I love dice rolling. I also like the powers type of a thing. And I like how we're all sort of competing, or I'm assuming we're all competing for the same thing. The other thing I liked is, and I don't know if this comes with an expansion or not, but it says 2 to 6 players. I don't know about you guys, but especially like with a lot of people from my church, I'll have like a lot of 5-player games. Or even 6-player games. And the problem is I have a lot of amazing 4-player games. And I'm like, who do I like least? And then I get a talk from the pastor who's like, you can't tell them that they're stupid. You have to be nice. So I'm excited for this, that this could play more people too. I think it looks great. I don't know much about the company, but I was trying to look for something a little further down the list, just because I'm assuming you guys are going to have some of the more popular games on here. But this just kind of jumped out to me as a pleasant surprise. I don't know if they're not doing good PR or whatnot, but the battle for Sampo, however you want to describe it. I don't know exactly when it's coming out, if they have a release date. But it looks great. I'll definitely be trying to get my hands on it. And that's the one that I am, it made my list. It's definitely in my top 3 of games I would buy if I was Essen. So there are a couple of others, but I think we might have 1 or 2 crossovers, and so I didn't want to say those. So,
who wants to go next?
I think we all should have Among Cultists on our list, right? As much as we played Human Punishment.
Yeah, I thought Among Cultists was one of the ones that I was excited about, just because the way that it looks. I'm interested in trying more of those actual solid board game board game like social deduction games, and this gives me a vibe of like what you want like Betrayal at House on the Hill to be, right?
That was I actually think that's a good kind of like line to draw from Among Cultists. I felt similar. Like this feels like it could be a better version of that, or more clean version of that.
Yeah,
there's also a kid version. There's also a kid version.
Yeah.
In fact,
Galactic Heroes.
Among. What'd you say, Courtney?
Galactic Heroes is the kids version. Well, it's a kids version.
Like robots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The kid version actually sounded a lot like Human Punishment, because it's like the robots wanted to destroy the humans, and the humans wanted to destroy this, and there's another faction. And I was like, we already play that game. Yeah. And so this game looks great. It looks like a lot of fun, and I also like how it can play a lot of people, or more than just like 4 type of a thing. So I knew you guys were going to talk about this, because I think it's number 1 in the hotness right now.
My only concern is that they came out with Human Punishment at the beginning, and I've heard not so good things about it. Kind of being a big overwrought board game, social deduction game. So I don't know. I'm curious about this one though.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
It looks cool on the table. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
It's got a cardboard pocket knife.
I'll have to ship the kids version, because my daughter, like, we play Among Us as a family like every couple of weeks.
Nice. So. Yeah, Among Us is basically like Battlestar Galactica, the video game.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of.
What else do we want to talk about?
I'll say what my most excited one is. We'll see if it overlaps anybody. It's a lighter game though, on there, but I think it's probably pretty popular, and that's Bonsai.
Ooh.
It just looks so cool. It looks so cool. You got and I think Tom and Mike reviewed this like maybe a month ago too. Roy, I don't know if you were around for that, but it's a tile drafting, tile placement game, and you build your bonsai tree up, and it just looks so dang satisfying to play it. Like I just can't get over the little piece of wood, and then you build out the little things, and you got the little sliding draft up there, and I'm like, and then like you can get more parts by getting more watering cans in your little card tableau, and then you can add more complexity to the tree by getting more nutrients to the tree. It seems pretty simple, but also like there's a little bit of strategy and kind of replayability baked in. It just looks so fun. I feel like I haven't even looked it up on BGG, but just watching stuff online about what was coming out at the Spiel, I was like, this game for me just looks like an absolute blast. Like it's just got such good vibes.
I noticed today it just released on Miniature Market too.
Oh my!
Oh, cool.
Just today, I think.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, it looks really. The cover looks.
The cover looks
great.
really good. Yeah.
I mean the board itself looks good, but the cover it looks amazing. And then I like the whole tiling. It's always a fun thing, I think.
Yeah, it's the tiles for me. It's building the tree with the tiles, 100%.
This was pretty popular at the retreat. A lot of people. I saw this one was out a lot.
Yeah.
We never got a chance to try it.
I wonder how the game dictates how you grow the tree, because like most of the tiles seem like they're either wood tiles or they're leaf tiles, and you have little leaves that you grow onto that. That's kind of interesting.
It's out right now on Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
If I recall, it's been a while because I remember seeing this again on Dice Tower, and if I recall, it's like there you kind of have there's a formula that you're essentially building by drafting the cards and what you can do,
Nice.
and then that'll dictate then how you can play. So on your turn, you can either like get the cards or place the tiles. I think is like the primary two decisions. If again, it's been quite a few weeks here.
That's cool.
So that'll change how you might build the trees. So the little tableau you kind of build with the card draft determines how you can place the tiles. I think so. It's kind of a two-step thing, but again, not very complicated. Seems like a game you could play the heck out of with your family or whoever. So that's super appealing to me.
Me too.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. There's my map for Matt.
Yeah.
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 I'm excited
All right,
for
who's going
the art project.
Yes, that was my number 2.
It's Adam. We just need to play games together all the time.
I know.
I love tiling games too, and I love co-op. So, the Vincent Dutray art just grabs you every time, and I think this is an awesome theme of like you're trying to recover stolen art, and it's a cooperative game. So, it just the theme and the cooperativeness kind of roped me in, and the art.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of gameplay of it. It almost made me feel like it was going to be like this like European art heist version of I almost said Marvel Champions of like Marvel United or something like that because I think it's like you can card combo with each other and stuff.
Okay.
I think.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it looks really cool. The art looks fantastic.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
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 It's gorgeous.
And it's pretty well established designers too.
Right. Yeah.
So that's always nice to know. You have good designers to back it up. Good art, good designers.
Yeah. Vincent Dutray's art's always amazing.
Yeah.
So, really good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say probably my top would be. I think we talked about this in the news, but it's Evacuation. Vladimir Suchi. It's that. You have the planet is dying or something along those lines, and you're trying to.
This is on my list for sure.
Everything and bring it over to the new planet and build, kind of reestablish your home on the new planet.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's got some kind of pick up deliver type stuff going on.
It does,
maybe. Yeah. Some different, maybe city building kind of stuff possibly. Anyway, it just looks really good. I typically always like Vladimir Suchi games, and I don't suspect this will be any different, but it just looks so good, and I like the theme, and I'm really excited about that one in particular.
I want to play your copy. The only reason this didn't make my list is it says the weight is 3.85.
Yeah.
I'll teach it to you.
Yeah, you'll be okay.
Well, I can put words and stuff together. I'm just trying to think of like games with my family, right? Like
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I would suspect this would not.
Yeah, no, this would definitely not make it for a while. But like Brass, I really enjoyed Brass. I like to play Brass with you guys. This looks like that type of game where it's that heavy sci-fi Euro. I love the idea of Earth is dying, get off the Earth, got to get to the next planet.
This won't be as heavy as Great Wall was. How about that?
Probably not. Yeah, it'll probably be more streamlined than Great Wall. Probably.
Maddie will love this game. This has got Matt written all over it as well.
Yeah.
It looks,
man. How is Matt not here in these games? This is a Matt Robbins. This is a game.
I know, right? That is definitely a Matt game for sure.
Oh, look at the board with this is the one with the 2 planets, right? Where
Yeah. Curve.
Yeah.
Yo, he's super ready.
Yeah. For me, I think this might just be demo. I don't know if they actually have it there. They're probably, I don't know if they're selling it or not, but the Stonemeyer apiary game, which we already talked about on the podcast before.
Yeah.
I'm still really interested to see how this game works, and the fact that it has these like little bee ship things that are like number trackers, and I know you're converting like pollen and things into other things. It just seems like it'll be a cool game altogether. And Stonemeyer always does like a great job with their games, so I'm very interested to see how this whole game comes together.
And just a heads up, you can pre-order it tomorrow morning on their website, Stonemeyer site.
Thanks, Jamie. No, I'm just kidding.
If you want to get in on it early, you can pre-order it there.
Look at this bee.
It takes everything in my life when he's live online to not just jump into the comments and be like, Kent.
I haven't been in there in a while.
Oh, you haven't?
I occasionally jump in there, but I haven't been on there in a while.
I always see him pop up, and then I'm like, I just want to go in here and call out Kent. Really like, Kent, where are you?
I swear the cover of this game is like so amazing looking.
Oh,
It looks so
the
good.
color palette too is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the whole aesthetic. I like the little miniature bee, and I also love the board. I think it's definitely a beautiful game, and it also helps that it looks like one of your factions in Last Light.
I know. I love the fact that when I mentioned that, I'm like, oh, they have the exact same name as one of my factions in Last Light, and I like tagged like Jamie in it or whatever. And somebody was like, "Oh, yeah, Jamie will have to play Last Light." I'm like, "Yeah, when he gets his copy that he backed, wink, wink, wink," because he totally backed it, right? And he's like, Jamie Stegmeyer actually replied to me and was like, "Oh yeah, I totally pre-ordered the game like right after Alex from Board Game Co.'s review went live." I'm like, Jamie Stegmeyer, Last Light confirmed.
Nice. That's great.
And then the designer of this game also was flipping out that I had like reposted about it, being like, "It's the same bees," and she's like, "Oh, it's totally like the same bees. It's got to be the same bees." I'm like, "Just so you know, you're happy that your bees made it to the end of the universe." So there you go.
Oh my gosh, it's like a continuation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She made the prequel, you know,
Yeah,
that I'm sure is going to do
prequel.
wildly successful. She like messaged me. She's like, "Oh, it's my first game. Like I'm like hoping it does well." I'm like, "You're with Stonemaier Games. You have nothing to worry about. You know, you're gonna sell a bajillion copies just based on that. You're golden. You know." So I'm excited to see how this game does.
I know. I'm sure she also wants people to like it, though, right? Like,
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think they seem to pick. I was gonna say Jamie. I'm sure he's not the only person making the decisions, but he seems to pick certain types of games. It's not just the production value. I think that there's like a very predictable weight that their games are going to be at. There's usually kind of there's just like they're not the same because there's a lot of mechanical differences to Stonemaier stuff, but like I don't know, there's like a kind of a level of investedness, a level of complexity that like I just come to expect out of it, where I don't. He's not going to pick a bad game, you know.
No, yeah, I think at worst the game will be good. You know?
Yeah, that's like the worst case scenario. It's good and really beautiful, which makes it kind of good plus. Like your game's a B plus if Jamie's putting it out. Like that's.
I see what you did there. A B plus. That's awesome.
You guys have more?
There can be more.
I mean, there's plenty. But
I did an entire top 10 list this morning that hasn't published yet, so I'm like,
okay.
I'm recapping.
What did you guys think of From the Moon?
Oh, let me look that up.
I like the publisher.
It looks cool.
From the Moon looks really good. I don't
know a lot about it though.
And Kelt as my as two others.
That cover.
And then I had a couple war games on there that I know you guys won't be into.
I like war games. I'm into war games.
On the Moon reminds me a lot of. For some reason, it reminds me of Outlive a little bit. I don't know if that's anything like that, but it's the same publisher. We played Outlive, right? I think we played Outlive.
Boy, was the Hunt, that submarine, that battleship that looked really cool. But On the Moon, I thought one of you guys would have picked On the Moon.
Dude, I didn't even hear about this. This looks awesome.
Yeah,
looks amazing. I love the whole ship mechanically. It reminded me of Galaxy Trucker, which I know I'm completely wrong, but it reminded me of several games mashed together, where you're trying to maximize your ships as well as transport things and do a bunch of stuff. From the Moon looks great, and then also Kelt. If you guys check, it's CELTAE. That looks great. But both of these games are weighted at a 3. So they were probably on my honorable mentions.
It's wild to me that they don't list any of the mechanisms of the game. I'm like, what? Because I thought it would be pick up and deliver or something with these truck things. But I didn't. It doesn't have it listed. It reminds me of Cryo from Luke Laurie a little bit, like the look of it. I don't know why. Have you played Cryo, Kent?
Yeah, I like it. It's good.
Yeah,
it's really streamlined and fun.
Yeah.
I just like that you get to build a base.
Yeah.
So that the game looks really good. From the Moon and Kelt. I've got to go. You guys are beautiful. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you, Rob. You're the best.
I'll be listening in the car.
Have a good one, Rob.
See ya. But yeah, that looks really cool. Really cool game.
Yeah, that's definitely one to check out, I would say.
Did you have any more, Adam?
No, I mean my two big ones were Bonsai and Art Project. I mean those are the ones I knew one of you all was going to cross over me on those two. I should have known it was Art Project though. I'll just reiterate. Art Project looks really good. It looks really super good. Yeah, those are the two that I've been following the most. And I'll probably buy Bonsai this week.
I had another one that I don't even know if it really counts as an Essen game because it was a Kickstarter that came to backers, but I know it's going to be at Essen, and this is Earthborn Rangers. This is from a bunch of the people that used to work at Fantasy Flight, who made this is kind of like a cooperative story building game where you're kind of going through different stuff, kind of campaign style. It gives me like Arkham Horror the card game vibes as far as like I think it's going to be similar to that sort of game, but like the designers designed a bunch of other games like Warhammer Quest and Rune Wars miniatures game and a whole bunch of those Fantasy Flight games that it's got Andrew Navarro, the Sadler brothers, Andrew Fisher on it. So I'm just really excited about like actually getting a hold of this game. It hasn't come into the Dice Tower studios that I know of, so I haven't seen it, and I'm like, man, I really want to play. So hey, maybe
it's not delivered to backers either. I backed it.
Oh, it hasn't delivered to backers. No. It's got a lot of ratings though, so I was confused.
Maybe,
I thought it had maybe come to some people because it has.
It's got those weird people that rate stuff before they play it.
Maybe
it could be that.
Could be. Yeah. I mean, at least I haven't seen it. I'm looking forward to this one for sure.
Yeah, so
it looks really neat. I don't know how it's going to play out, but it looks really cool.
Yeah, it has a lot of ratings.
Right.
It's got 458 ratings already.
That's why I thought it actually came to some people.
On like a Tabletopia or something, or like a digital platform.
Oh, maybe that's it.
You would think so with 458 is a lot.
That's more
not
than...
like when sometimes people start reviewing it and they'll be like, I don't like this or I love this design. It's a 10 for me, and there's like 18 on there when people do that stuff.
Yeah,
looks like it's on Tabletop Simulator, so maybe it's people playing on that.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, maybe that's it. I'm definitely interested to see how this game comes together, especially with the design team behind it. So it'll be kind of cool to see once it's actually out and in the wild. And it's a game that you can also solo, right? So that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's got card play, combat, conflict resolution, cooperative gameplay, deck management, hand management. It's supposed to be like post-apocalyptic, but like everything's kind of overgrown, instead of everything being deserty, everything's overgrown. So that's kind of cool.
Cool.
But yeah.
Well, I had a couple more if anyone else had anything.
Okay, I can type it up and we can speak about it.
Basically, this is just quick. I want to try Voidfall just because it's Mind Clash games, which I typically like what they make, but sometimes it's like really, really heavy, really complicated. And almost too much, but I really want. It's not a game I would probably buy or back, but it's a game I would definitely play at a con or something. It just looks really cool. It's a huge, massive 4X space game, so it's one I definitely want to check out. The graphic design looks really good. The art looks good.
I've heard that
I'm curious about it.
The rules overhead on this is like huge. It's a gigantic 4X Euro game, but it does have combat and conflict in it, and you're trying to fight off these different bad guys. I mean, honestly, my favorite kinds of games are Euro games with combat in them. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I give Euro games a lot of crap, but like I really enjoy games that have the where you can build up your things and then use those things to win in combat. And Voidfall is one that I'm definitely interested in. This just came into the studio. We haven't even opened the box yet, but it's gigantic.
It looks. I'm sure it's a daunting one to open up and sort and organize and figure out. It takes up
the whole calyx. And I don't know. Maybe I should do some heavy lifting and like try to learn this game because Tom talked about wanting to play it. With me specifically, because like I love 4X so much.
Yeah, exactly.
But I know it's going to be a hard one to hit the table just because the rules overhead is going to be immense.
Yeah, exactly. That's a big deterrent. But if the opportunity was right, this one would be high on the list to try out.
And I'm sure this is going to be great solo because David Turtzi is like he does solo. That's what he does. So this will be one of those games that you could play solo, I'm sure, and it'll just be solid.
Yeah. You could, I guess. But I almost wonder if the rules overhead are so high for this, and then adding on top of that solo rules, sometimes it's like becomes a bit too much.
Who knows? I mean, if it was originally designed as solo, maybe it helps you get into the rest of the game easier. I don't know.
weight of 4.55 right now in BGG. That's
immense.
Pretty hefty.
Yeah, they said this is about like a Lacerda difficulty game, you know.
Oh,
Oof.
That's what they said. That's what I've heard. But it's got really high ratings, so I mean, people are liking it.
yeah.
So they said 4X and they ran the exact opposite direction as I did from last night.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, I want to make 4X as accessible and as easy to play and as fast as possible. They're like, guess what? We're going the opposite direction.
90
which
to
also
240
is valid.
minutes, and you know for a first time game it's going to be like at
240.
least 360 or something.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
gonna be
240
immense.
is
yeah.
gracious. There's
Yes.
no way. There's no way.
And if you're playing solo, you could play it like 5 days, you know.
If you
leave
have
it
a
set
table,
up.
you can set up and leave
Set
it.
up.
Yeah.
It's
All right,
awesome.
last one more, just real quick. Is
You're
a game
gonna go
called
through.
Jin. DJ
Okay.
Jin. So it's basically, I don't even know exactly what's going on here. I think like jinns, like the genies or
In a
these
bottle?
spirits are like causing trouble in the town. And you're trying to deal with them apparently, but it's like kind of a Euro game. But the main reason I'm interested in it is the designer is Benjamin Schwer,
Oh,
who
nice.
designed Hadara and Crown of Amara, which
Oh,
are
nice.
both like really kind of medium weight, fairly accessible Euro games that are just like really well designed, nice, really nice graphic design, like kind of modular setup boards. But you're moving around. I think you're moving around your figures on the board, and you're like trying to banish the gins, doing all sorts of Euro-y kind of stuff. But it's kind of got a neat look to it. I like those. The player boards look kind of cool. They've got like all those little puzzle pieces mixed in there, and I don't know, it just looks neat. And I don't think it's going to be super heavy, but it just the designer alone was enough to get me interested in that one.
It also comes with a giant silver.
I like the little figures, but that board does not look that great.
Well,
don't think-
What do you mean? It looks like every other Euro game.
It looks like a typical. Yeah, it looks like his style Euro games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's just one I would definitely try out. It looks.
You don't like the beige top-down city map, of course?
No, that does not look that great.
I'm about to say, if you
Think
don't
it'd
like
be
it,
better.
it's happened a million times before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, how many Euro games come with figures like that?
How many Euro games come with gigantic, like Gen meeples?
Yeah, there you go.
I should go back and actually look at chat because I had the gigantic Gen dancing around.
Yeah.
But no,
But I'd
it's
say
fun.
that's pretty much it. Anybody else got
Awesome.
anything else?
I had a ton of things, but I'm not going to try to recap my entire list that I did this morning, so it's fine. I
Was
had
it
Path of
Pirates?
Civilization on. I had several other games on.
Oh,
What else did I
Courtney
have?
said Pirates of Maracaibo. That's the
Oh, nice. Is that expansion for Maracaibo?
No, it's
Or
a
is that
new
something
game.
alone?
It's a new, more accessible game.
Oh,
in
really?
it's in the same universe, but it's Alexander Pfister and somebody else. I can't remember the other
Other
guy's name.
designers, yeah.
But yeah, it's like a different game, but it's more accessible. And it's an Alexander Pfister game, so it's worth checking out probably.
Nice.
So
Sweet. Well, I think that can about do it for us for the things here.
Yeah.
I do want to say thanks to everybody for checking us out in chat and in live stream. Thanks to Kent for going 3-0 in Lorcana like a boss. Making it
Oh,
happen.
yeah.
Oh yeah. You thought you knew Disney. Kent knows Disney. He's gonna smack you down with some Disney characters. You done got stitched. His deck will leave you in stitches.
yeah.
Oh, gosh.
And my jokes will be even worse.
And shout out to Maddie. We had a pizza board and a two-player board with a helix.
Oh, I'm so disappointed I didn't hear about. Well,
Fromage.
I'm sorry Matt wasn't here for Fromage.
I
it
know.
for Matt.
Y'all have to tweet that at him because that'll make his work.
It's got the
work
unique
better.
shaped board. It's themed on cheese.
It's got a
it
rotating cheese
rotates.
board, right?
Simultaneous
Yeah.
rotating board.
I know. Who would do
What
that?
more could you ask for?
See, my game would be
I
way
think
more
it's a pretty
successful
cheap
if it was
Kickstarter back,
rotating
dude.
It
cheese
is.
board.
The deluxe
40
version is only $49.
Yeah, it's $49, man. Oh,
That's
man.
amazing.
Oh,
It's from an
Maddie.
established publisher too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for holding down the fort, Ferg, and joining us in chat. Hopefully next episode we'll have Matt and Ruthie back with us. But yeah, we've definitely enjoyed having everybody and talking about all the games. And let us know in the comments, or let us know what games you guys are excited about for Essen. There will
for
be
sure.
tons of games coming back out of Essen, and it'll be interesting to see how everything shakes up for games for the end of the year. That'll be crazy because we're coming up on that sort of stuff too. Yeah. Good times. But yeah, anyway. Well, I hope everybody has a great night. I've been Roy Kennedy, and bye. Well, we don't normally say our names at the end of these. We've got so little people. Go ahead. There's Adam.
I'm still Kent Parker.
Adam's Kim Parker.
Sparks.
And
I'm
Adam
still
Sparkles. Sparkles. We call him Sparkles on this podcast.
Oh, Sparkles.
And Courtney's going to join the World Series of Board Gaming. I can't wait. All right. See everybody. Bye.
Night.
Bye, everyone.